Hi there, my name is Shinisolale, and this is Working Through Emotion. On the podcast, we talk about a range of things as they relate to people and their emotion, not leaving out their interpersonal and intrapersonal relationships. And on today's episode, guys, we're talking about something quite relatable, as you already know. And yes, I will not be doing this alone. I have somebody right here with me, and we'll be talking about a number of interesting things together. I have Temitope Ojo with me here, and yes, I'm even asking the introduction. Yay, welcome here, Temitope. It's good to have you.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity. I am honored. Yeah, so Temitope Ojo, popularly known as Betty.
Betty, yes. Okay,
That's no worry. Also, I run a podcast, the TikTok podcast. Okay, which talks about body shaming, care, basically.
Right.
So,
The more reason I brought you right here. Yes, guys, that's the reason I brought Temitope. We're talking about the concept of body shaming, and this is going to be an interesting ride, guys. So just stay tuned. Once again, I welcome you to the episode, guys. I welcome you. Okay, Bestie. So one of the reasons why I brought you here is because I know that you are one of the people that actually speak up about body shaming, especially regarding people that are on the plus size here.
yeah.
You talk about how they are prone to body shaming, and you help them navigate ways to deal with it. And I see what you're doing. You bring people on your podcast, people that experience similar things, people that can relate to those things, and you guys just talk on your podcast and just seek to help people and let them know that okay, they are not alone. And that brings me to what we'll be talking about today. So there are different ways that body shaming can manifest. As you already know, there are different ways that body shaming can play out.
Yeah.
But the common one that people know is the fact that people criticize other people. When other people talk down on people's body, especially,
Yes.
people can say, oh, they are body shaming me. So whenever people hear the word, I just got body shamed, they're like, okay, body shaming, right? But there's the other side to it too, where people body shame themselves, where people criticize themselves, right? So it can manifest in two different ways. So can you give perspective to both sides?
Okay. Thank you so much again. So body shaming can be manifested in two ways, like you said. We can from the first common one that we all know. That one is when people body shame you, and you're at the receiving end, right? Body shaming. So, but the other one that is not clearly known or commonly known as the first one is the part where you body shame yourself, where accept yourself for how you are. You really don't appreciate your weight or your height or your
Body size,
right, your color, anyhow, whatever you get. So so when it comes to self body shaming, right? I think I can say quite a number of things about it, because yes, I've body shamed myself a whole lot. I was born big, so right from when I was young, I don't think there has been a time that I accepted myself for being big. I just hated myself. I hated it, so I talked down a lot on myself when I was so young, when I was and I was not getting old,
right?
And when I was still battling, when I was still suffering from that body shame. So when you body shame yourself, you talk down on yourself. You don't accept yourself for who you are.
And mock yourself.
Like you downgrade yourself. You just like probably I do this when I want to feel better about myself. So so I don't, before people come to me and say, oh, you're fat, I will say it myself so that I'll just feel better. You get a thick skill. Exactly. You are just okay. Let's just stop. So when you body shame yourself, that's self body shaming. Not when others are criticizing you for how big, how small, or what have you. So that's that. Also, for the other side of body shaming, that I can say quite a number of that things about that also. I've been body shamed a lot by people. I think before I started body shaming myself, I think it started from when people started calling me big and all that. And so I've been body shamed a lot. Like while growing up, I've never been, I've always been big. Let me put it that way. So let's say almost every time I got body shamed. So when people body shame you too, that's another part of body shaming, how body shaming can manifest.
Right.
That was the have I answered the question?
Yeah, you answered my question. I mean, you give perspective to both sides. So now we know clearly that it is not just when people body shaming, when people mock you, when people try to humiliate you for your body size, that it means that you are being body shamed. There's also that side. So it's not even as if, now that I'm thinking about it, it's not as if that self-criticism, that part where you body shame your own self, has not been known or was not known to people. It's just that it was like maybe in the shadows, because the first thing that comes to people's mind when they hear body shaming, like, oh, body shamed you, is that let's bang with them and all that.
It's just in the background.
Yeah.
So it's just that part of people body shaming me that people that clearly that obvious.
They know it exists though, but it's not
obvious. It's only when you go through it that you like tend to know, okay,
right,
it exists.
Exactly. So it happens, and it
does happen.
Yeah, it happens. I've come to realize that it's not even people that are on plus size, on big side, that experience body shaming. So even slim people experience body shaming. And the weird thing is, society has carved out these standards that, okay, these are the kind of people that are acceptable, these are the kind of people that are acceptable. And
if they are not this tall, if they
are not like this,
if your height is 4 feet, if your size, like,
they just have different standards. Like, everybody has something to say on social media. It can be quite harmful for people to define their standards based on that, for we as human beings to base our standards on that, because people are just saying things. Some people are just they're just talking based on vibes. They're not even exactly right.
There's so many things on internet now that you just you have to leave your mind, or you have to like leave those sites and like
you have to guard your heart, basically. Just
that on like that.
Exactly.
So, you have to just
true, because I can even relate to body shaming. I'm really slim, right? I can relate to body shaming.
Wait. I can't. This is not.
I'm serious now. There's only people that are on plus size that get body shamed. Even
I know
body shamed. I've gotten body shamed. I mean, I've gotten body shamed a few times.
I mean, you have perfect figure.
You're tall. What is the perfect figure?
Okay.
I did you
okay.
So what is the perfect figure, for Christ's sake, right? Look, who is defining this thing? Who is creating the standards, for Christ's sake? Because I remember I got body shamed. I've gotten body shamed by quite a number of people. For my mother's time, the first time you had to deal with being underweight. Like, people didn't even know about it. People didn't know what I was going through. I was going through a whole lot of health challenges, and throughout the year I had different body sizes, right? People body shamed me a whole lot. They were like, comparing me with people that I'm like, see this person now. How did you share the series by? For none of your best speakers, what's wrong with you? Or why you're like this? Why do you look like this? So yes, I've had to deal with that. I remember times I've actually even dealt with self-criticism before. And this kind of person, I look very confident. I look very confident.
Are you telling me? I know you.
I look very confident, and I can be very confident. Even beyond the looks and everything, I can be very confident, right? So I never even realized when I said criticizing myself. I'll look in the mirror, because I look in the mirror a lot. I look into the mirror.
That makes it so much,
right? I look into the mirror and I'm like, you look pretty. And I'm like, why do you look pretty? Why is this a size fucker? I didn't realize it until my friend called my attention to. She was like, Eunice, this means you say you're fine. Every time I say I'm fine, she ignores me. Every time she said next week, she say you're not fine. You realize that you're talking on yourself. It didn't even dawn on me until later. I'm like, oh no, so that's what I've been doing to myself. I didn't even realize it. So yes, it's actually a thing to body shame yourself.
Of course,
it's actually a big thing to body shame yourself. So now that brings us to the next question. We've assessed the fact that okay, there can be two sides to this body shaming aspect. So why do you think people body shame people? Why do you think body shaming exists in the first place? Because body shaming in the first place is unhealthy. Body shaming is you mocking somebody, you relating to somebody because of the way their body looks, because of the structure of their body, right? So why do you think body shaming didn't become a topic in the first place?
Okay, why do people body shame?
Basically, yeah, just refers.
So let me state from my own perspective. Okay, the first one I'm going to talk about is thinking insecurity. Okay, so people tend to bring their insecurity upon other people so that it will not be obvious to the outside world that okay, this is what I'm going through. So they tend to put on the other person a load or a veil so that the other person will not be able to see what they are going through. So if I come to that, oh, Eunice, okay, no, let me see what you think.
You got young now.
No, let me just, why isn't it far? Probably are also going through on what I think the first thing is insecurity. People they want to feel good about themselves.
Right.
They put burden on the other person, right? So that it will not be obvious to that other person that okay, I'm also going through something like this. I'm going through something like, but I also feel good about myself. So insecurity is the first reason, right? So the environmental influence too. Where you grow up, also in one family, they talk the way they feel. They just express themselves the way they are feeling. They don't have any reservations to okay. They don't see it from the other person's perspective.
You just talk anyhow.
Anyhow. They still feel how it comes,
regardless of how the other
exactly feel. So and the other type of family is when okay, let me see how the person's like. Let me see this from my own perspective. How am I going to feel? So the environmental influence too, as people. Some people don't know. Probably they don't want to know, or probably that's just how they were being raised. They were raised. You get that's where they were. That's kind of environment where they were brought up. They can talk anyhow they want.
Right.
They don't think about the consequences. They don't think about the okay, how it's going to affect my hearer or the person I'm talking to. So that one too is another reason why people body shame.
That's why you see people getting surprised when people correct them and they say they'll be surprised that okay, why is this wrong? That's why you hear some people argue and I'm like, are you kidding me? You're asking me why is this wrong? Well, in short, they're all like things their fault, exactly, in their own defense.
They don't know that
they don't know it's wrong. However, it will say what is continuing.
Yeah, so that's about everything.
Right.
They don't know that what they are doing is wrong. So and then there's another thing that I was saying. Okay, sometimes when you are talking with people, probably just meet a friend, probably after a while, seeing each other, and you've talked about this, talked about that, and there's nothing else to say. You have heard. I know. In the way to lessen the conversation, or probably just so that there won't be like all the awkward gaps, and they just say whatever comes to their mind. And the person is fast, like it's physically obvious. So their mind will just bring it. Okay, talk about this.
Right.
So it's another way to lengthen their conversation because they're not much.
Right.
People also body shame because of that.
Yeah. I agree with that last part. You jam somebody on the road and you think that it is your sole responsibility.
That has happened to me.
So lengthen the conversation. Then you keep talking and talking. Then you're like, okay, what is left to talk about? Yeah.
Their brain just like how would I post it? Their brain just put something that is so obvious. So
yes,
that's what it. And it's not as if they want to actually hurt the person. Just that they want to continue the conversation.
Exactly.
Like going on, and
they now talk and
don't know that they
say what is not meant to be said. Exactly.
Yeah.
So really, it's okay to be silent sometimes. Especially when they also say
walk away.
Oh, I don't know what to say. I think I almost say I learned that the hard way, but I think there was a way I learned it. I think there was a time that happened to me, and I think it has been happening for a while. I used to put myself under the pressure that okay, it is me that should keep the conversation going. I want to like keep this person engaged. But it now happened one time. I think it happened once or twice when I said something and I went home and I was still feeling stupid. I was unwinding. I'm like, okay, so many. I tell you, not that I body shame somebody, but I just said something that made me. I'm like, now on a normal day, you're not supposed to be saying this type of thing. So that I'm like, you know what? And since they wanted to actually there's nothing that they can do. Right. So I actually learned the hard way that silence is actually okay. When you get to have spoken, I don't know what to say. Yeah. When you guys have this awkward silence for like 30 seconds, you will do it. Okay, my guy, we'll see later. Exactly. So I think so. I know you mentioned something about insecurity that people just want to pitch what they are feeling, what they are dealing with. on the other party. And I think it's a very temporary and unhealthy way to deal with things, because it is temporary for one. It will make you feel good just for a while. Okay, you made somebody feel bad. They can feel bad, can feel fly, but it's a very unhealthy way to live. And if you keep going through that circle, to get to a point where you can't recognize yourself because you've engaged in that unhealthy habit for so long. And when something is unhealthy and keep engaged sometimes unhealthy, it will not
is unhealthy.
Exactly, when something is unhealthy, it's unhealthy. I don't know what to say. Because something that's unhealthy, so definitely have adverse effects, right? So yeah, that was a very good one. That was a very, very good one. And it means I was actually even trying to introspect. Okay, why the body shame? Aside the insecurity, the environmental influence that you mentioned, and people don't know what to say. Just was to lengthen the conversation. And I was also thinking, maybe, okay, I think this could come under insecurity, maybe fear. Fear of the kind of, you look at yourself and you're like, you're just scared. Yeah, I think people also deal with that because of the fear that, okay, they are in this alone. They are the ones going through this alone. So they are looking for people to feel bad with them. Exactly. That's a valid thing, actually. And it's not like we're trying to like make fun of people's emotions or anything. We're just trying to point out the reason people actually body shame people. Why do people body shame people? They don't want to feel alone. They want to have this support group. All of us, let's be body shame.
But they don't want alone. They don't.
Exactly. Somebody has body shame. You say collect your own.
And decide to go.
Exactly. But it's not even an healthy way that we may not want to deal with it. Yeah,
that's true.
Wow, thank you very much. So, okay, now we've talked about the different perspectives, right, of how body shaming manifests, right? And we've also spoken about why body shaming exists in the first place. So, what are people that are affected by body shaming? Who are people that you think are affected by body shaming? We know that, okay, the plus size, people that are slim, people that are underweight. Some people, people that are underweight, let me just use the word underweight, people that are underweight, or yes, they're the people that are prone to body shaming. But beyond that, beyond the surface, beyond the obvious answer, what are the people that you think are prone to body shaming?
Okay, we started with the 2 ways where body shaming can manifest, right? Self and from other people. So victims of body shaming, right? Yourself, when you are body shaming yourself, right? Even though might not know if you are a victim, because what you're doing to yourself will not be a victim by that. And then people with past experiences too. Probably you were not the one, like you were not the direct target of that body shame at that particular moment, or and you overheard something in that
regard or in that light shot.
Exactly. So it going to trigger memories, so you tend to remember, okay, I've gone through this, something like this happened when I was growing up,
right?
Exactly. So people with past experiences, they're also victims of body shaming. And then
actually, I agree with you on that one, where people that have past experiences can be prone to body shaming, especially self-body shaming. Because, okay, for instance, someone that used to be quite big before and they loved their body size, they loved weighting, all of a sudden they have to deal with being on that weight from nowhere to nowhere. Then somebody body shames them, or they body shame themselves. So like, this is how I used to look before yourself. Things like that can make you a victim, can make you be affected by body shaming. Even comes from an outsider or even comes from you yourself. Also, somebody that has been on the big side, like I mentioned before, now has still been on that weight.
Or someone that
I don't know, small, now growing up, exactly, maybe due to medications, health conditions, or maybe
I've heard of
their lifestyle.
That she was okay, she was, but then she was depressed. And when she came out from that big depression, she became overweight. So someone like that now overate someone body shaming someone. So imagine how that person would feel. So those are the
things that can that can make people affected. What people are affected? We're looking at people that are affected. So let's talk about yourself, that yourself. You're the one that you're affected. You say when you get body shamed by yourself or by other people. And people who have had past experiences, especially experiences that they cannot add up to the present. They are trying to weigh them and they are not even alive, right?
Exactly.
And even from experiences to people that have been traumatized, to there are people that are affected, people that have not healed from past experiences that they've been through, especially experiences that they need healing from.
Yeah.
Any small thing can just trigger them, and they'll be really affected by it, to see them spin into depression. And you see people actually thinking of suicide just because they've been body shamed. It's actually a very big thing. It's happening. It is real. It is real. It is. And you hear people saying, can you know, it's not a small play. Just small play. Small play. I cannot access small play.
Yeah.
And these people, you know, we're talking about insecurities, and I was talking about, you know, we are talking currently about, you know, people that don't heal properly, they can be affected. Yeah. You know, these people that insult you, they just insult you and body shame you. They'll be like, I know it's just play. It's me. It's not you. It's not that. Keep it to yourself. Like, keep it to yourself. So when people like that hear statements like that that have to deal with them being body shamed, they cannot handle it properly, maybe because of trauma that emanates from, you know, past experiences that they've had that they've not healed from properly, right? And trauma is really real. It is real. It's real. It is, because all of us have been through things at one point or the other that actually caused, and we still had to come out, because I mean the world will not stop because things are closed doors. Like that's why you see people smiling even on that pain, when they are in pain, right? So yeah, it's actually a very big thing. I know one time, there was a time I was listening to your podcast, okay, and you were talking about how people can deal with body shaming, and you mentioned a number of things, but you mentioned of affirmations, and really that got me thinking. I'm like, okay, yes, affirmations, do they work? I'm like, okay, yes, affirmations can work. I mean, they are words. Some people say words are really powerful. Words have the ability to change your ideas on things. But it got me thinking that sometimes words don't always work. Okay, maybe words don't always appear to work, especially with people that are still dealing with hurt from past experiences, people that are traumatized. So sometimes it takes probably more than words of affirmations, just standing in the mirror and saying certain words. Of course, they work, right? We already ascertained that in your podcast. You mentioned that in your podcast that they work. However, I mean, you got me thinking that people can actually use words of affirmations to deflect sometimes. They just use it to sweep the situation under the carpet. So like, and they just the words of affirmation. So they are not actually healing and allowing the words that they are speaking to do the healing on them, or they are not actually seeking ways to heal. They're just trying to deflect and turn a blind eye to situations, right? Yeah. So they just sweep them under the carpet. All the hurt, all the trauma that they are dealing with, they just sweep under the carpet by using words of affirmation. So I want you to give more perspective to words of affirmation, right?
Okay. Thank you for that. Yeah. Words of affirmation, like you said,
right?
But then I think it's they work, right? But it takes a longer time. Like, excuse me,
bless you.
It takes longer time for the words to sink in. The scenario where you were just body shamed and you were feeling the hurt and the pains and everything. Sometimes the words work like immediately. Fortunately, it works. But most of the times, it takes a longer period for the word to sink into your mind, right? Before you start, okay, I'm actually good, I'm fine, I'm beautiful, I'm everything. So, what do you do when words are not working for you, right? Sometimes this it way more than physical, right? Kind of mental, okay? So sometimes what am I saying? Mental here, right?
Yeah.
So you seek help when it's not working for you. Seek help. Probably you go to therapy, go to professionals, talk about it, or you seek probably you work on yourself, okay? Like exercising, go to the gym, eat the gym, do anything that you can do to
just keep yourself in a very good state.
Exactly.
Right.
So sometimes word of affirmations they work, but it takes longer period, right? So let me put it this way, like it's in two ways. So if it's the one that you're body shaming yourself, like you are the victim and you are the doer and the receiver. So okay, seek help, right? exercise if you think that will work. Seek help, ask professionals, talk to people. Like don't bottle it inside. Where that doesn't bottling things inside tends to just
make things worse.
And then at the end of the day, you just burst for emotions, and
people just wonder where that is coming from.
Exactly.
You don't realize that it has been stored up.
Oh, don't bust those things up. Seek help, talk to people. Affirm too. You can affirm yourself. It's not if it doesn't work,
but people don't right to hide under it.
Exactly.
It's right.
So you can still affirm yourself.
Affirmations work.
So from the perspective where other people are positioned, what do you do? If you are bold today, I would say enlighten them. You know, we already said that environmental influence, that what they're doing is hurting the other person. So what do you do? Enlighten them. Okay, please, I don't appreciate you talking about my weight, about my height, or about my color or anything. Tell them at that moment that please, can you not talk about my weight? So you tell them, okay, I don't appreciate it, I don't like it, it makes me feel bad. Tell them. Some people don't know that what they are doing is bad. They don't know that what they are doing is hurting you.
You can tell them point blank that you find it disrespectful or insulting.
So if you tell them, what if they don't know initially? Okay, I'm so sorry, I did not know. And in a way that, okay, sometimes when they are like, okay,
that what
my dear, what will you do at that person? Tell them, okay, hey, please, do you want me to reciprocate? Like, some people don't, people will not like cooking. So it's not fun to.
People don't come back to reality until you show them the other side.
Some people, if you tell them that, okay, I don't appreciate it, I don't like it, and they'll be surprised that,
don't change it for them, they will not learn.
So sometimes you don't need to change, but sometimes you need to change it for them. The kind of person that you, but that exactly, really, so attribute.
Right.
So that's that. You tell them that, okay, I don't appreciate it, enlighten them. Then some other time, if you think that enlightening people is just way too much for you, or avoid them. You know, this kind of people, like, it's not seen. So you know the kind of people, you know that, whenever I see this person, he always talk about my body, he always talk about my weight, she always remind me that I'm fat and all that. Avoid them. If it's not like compulsory to meet them, avoid them if possible. And if not possible, just enlighten them, and then seek help too. Because body shaming is more of physical, is more of mental, more than physical. The effect is more like your mind. Everything is involved. It is more than just your body. So you should seek help too. Seek help. If you can exercise. If you can work on your body, If you need to work on your body to feel good, do everything in your power to make yourself feel better. But not on the but not things that will like come back to you to hurt you. You get. So that's pretty much everything.
Wow, thank you so much.
Thank you.
So we get that seek help. So I want to like put perspective, because people are hearing seek help, right? It's very important to seek help, right? It's when you seek help, it shows intentionality. It shows that you're intentional about changing things that you don't want for yourself, right? However, it is when you're able to identify what the problem is that you know where to seek help. Okay, if what is causing you to have the body that you currently have that you don't like is probably health issues. It has to do with self-related, maybe underweight or other health-related issues. You know where to take care of, right? Go to the medical practitioner to get the help that you need.
Not quack.
So
that's important.
Hey, very, very. I'll say that again. Also, if it's okay, you know that what you need is just you need to change your lifestyle, your eating habits. Maybe you need to you need to start exercising more, because if there's one thing that exercise does, it keeps your mental health in check. So that's why people go to the gym, right, to keep their mental health in check. To just the same way they are keeping their body in check, they're also keeping their mental health in check. So you can always go to the gym, right? And if it's like, okay, you just need that support system, you can find support groups. I mean, that's one thing we used to say, that okay, when you need help regarding something, especially something mental, something that is
Don't keep it to yourself.
yeah, don't keep it to yourself. You can always find support groups. What will support group do for you? You have people that can relate to things that you are going through. So you can learn from them as they're sharing their stories, how they are navigating things. And so you can share your own stories to feel better. And you know, when you feel heard, it's like a gift to actually feel heard. Like so when you feel like you feel light and grateful, in known, right, and actually lead to what I'm exactly. And this people can actually way of that's where healing starts from. Exactly. So don't seek help. Don't try to like keep it to yourself. And also, if it's that you want to get better, you can also consume materials. There are different materials online. You're consuming materials that speak to that needs that you need. You have. Like we mentioned, because there's so many garbage in life now. Garbage, and there are different books that you can read. Books that would enlighten you. Books that will keep your head in check, and give you that edge to be positive about yourself. There are different books. Also, when we say consume materials, I don't mean that you should now go online and just consume anything, right? So yeah, those are different ways. And also, I think I will never forget to talk about journaling. Journaling also helps. Especially those moments where you try to ignore people. Where are you going to like deposit those things that you're trying to ignore, right?
Yeah, I used to do that.
Exactly.
Write down what's out, and then I say it anyhow because I know that I'm not saying it to people that will you get. So I put everything out. How angry I am, how all time I put everything down. So at the end of the day, when I'm not checking,
right,
I would have left. Right. So I'll just be like, oh, thank God I not say this thing. Because it's actually also the other person. So journaling,
why would hurt you? Because you did say it out, and now you are storing it up in yourself. So you did not transfer it anywhere. I think about it. If it's not that I'm suffering, no.
That's it now.
I thought even no judgment zone. Aside your journal meaning no judgment zone. Journal has suffered. That's the one that things, heard things. So
that's business, Abby.
Right. So journaling helps, and there are effective ways to journal. You find resources that can guide you on effective ways to show up for things. You want to be better at something, you know what to do, right? So you can always go online, check on these things, right? There are resources out there. You can even speak to people. Okay, this is okay. Do you have materials? Does anybody have recommendations for this? On people's WhatsApp status, should be saying, anybody recommendation for podcast, recommendation for this, okay, for this and for this, for situations like this. Does anybody have any recommendation? Then you someone that will take a screenshot and repost to for you, and all of it like that to find solutions together, right? So it's very important for you to deal. There are effective ways to deal, and you touched on so many things today regarding body shaming, and I was wondering if you had any like extra notes or anything extra to say to people, maybe any final words.
Okay. From now, seeking help. Start like do something like right now. Don't postpone. Don't procrastinate. Because if you are procrastinating, you are just moving is it inland? You are moving it forward. You are shifting. So like. From that moment, I want to be deliberate about getting help and everything. Like do something that will probably tie you down. Like, okay, I want to do this. So probably want to talk to someone, or you want to go to the hospital. Or so. Probably you write it down, or tell someone that will remind you that okay, you want to do this thing. Or probably you want to exercise, right? Register at that moment. Like don't procrastinate,
right?
So do something at that moment, and then what will I say? Accept. If you cannot accept yourself, then work on it. Work on it. If you can work on it. It's going to help you a lot. So and then you are beautiful.
Right.
You are beautiful. So you are beautifully, wonderfully, amazingly.
Yes. Can you hear that?
Really. Every beautifully
easy, right? Oh, thank you. I mean, that's an emotional moment right there. right? So you heard that, right? You're beautiful. It's all about the standards of the society to define you. So let be your definition.
You are unique.
You're unique.
Exactly. Love it. Preach it, sis. Yeah, you're unique. So,
Right.
and your body is what makes you part of what makes you you.
Right. Wow, thank you so much. I will say, it has been an insightful ride. I am what saying.
Fine.
Okay, you caught me. Don't catch me. Yeah, you don't catch me. Don't catch me.
I can't see.
It's been an insightful ride, and thank you. That's what I was saying. Thank you so much. I want not. Can we not agree that we are 200 people here? Please, don't kill it. I don't know. Thank you so much for taking out of your time to come on the show and
I'm glad.
talk about what you love talking about. I mean, this conversation was really nice. It made me say things and wow, unique. Okay.
That's true.
Right. Same yet. Right. Thank you so much for being on the show with me. Hey guys, on this note, we've got to the end of this episode. Don't forget to share the podcast, listen. You can catch up on content on the podcast, on Podbean, on the Tribune Online website, on YouTube. Yes, you can check on YouTube. You'll find content on the podcast and also different content on the Tribune Online website regarding news, politics, relationship, different things else. Exactly. We just talked about health, right? Health, self-care, finance, business, and what have you on the Tribune Online website. And yes, I'll catch you on another episode. Until next time, guys. Bye.
Bye.